It's Kosher MGTOW. Welcome back to another reaction video from one extreme to another. Now, we will examine and react to a video that displays the other side of the potential for a Jewish woman. And this actually features an act from the Schlepp sisters out in New York City, who have been notorious for putting on shows that include a lot of dancing, a lot of risque behavior, and burlesque. Yeah, that's right. This is a fun video. You're going to see some curves and everything. Get ready. Kosher MGTOW video called Hot Jewish Chicks.
Beautiful Semitic girls here. Oh, we got more kosher meat than a butcher.
But more kosher meat than a butcher. Now, these women are not hiding inside of mikvah spas, are they? And they're not hiding 12 days from their respective husbands. They're showing it all off with a smile on their face, liberated.
Jewish chicks. There's Roxy looking foxy in a mink. There's Becky Tishkin giving me a wink. Esther's nose and teeth are.
So you got all the bouncing Hulkamaniacs going wild out here, and they barely have their private areas covered with pasties and random trinkets that with every bounce, these trinkets are rotating in all sorts of different directions, not always the same directions. And to think these kosher Jewish women actually do exist and do show off their bodies quite a bit, even in front of massive crowds. And you're seeing that some of these liberated Jewish women, they're all shapes and sizes.
My name is Alicia Abrahamson, and my stage name is Conquer. So I work at the 14th Street Y, and I'm the Director of Arts and Jewish Culture.
It's arts and Jewish culture. I guess that is the fancy way of saying this is the way that I'm going to show off my particular talents is by using arts and culture. So I'm going to show off my backside. I'm going to parade around with no clothes on. I'm going to put on risque outfits, and I'm going to parade around with no clothes on because it's fun, and I feel like showing off. I think it's very powerful when I get to show off. That's what these women think.
And I also am a burlesque performer. I started working at the 14th Street Y, which is a Jewish community center. East Village, really, want to reflect our East Village, sensibility, funky downtown.
Why don't you want to reflect on what you experienced when back in the day? Sounds perfectly normal.
And as a producer of funky Jewish downtown events, when I first started in 2003, I really wanted to incorporate burlesque, and I was given a lot of support and, creative freedom to do that. So
creative freedom and support to do that. So does that mean that some random horny Jewish men decided to fund this particular venture so that she wouldn't have to work and all she'd have to worry about is parading around with no clothes on and finding more friends and performers to do the same to come up with a full, total, unequivocal show where everyone's showing off their goodies?
I perform solo, but I would say more often.
She's got her booty hanging out with her
dance partner, Darlinda, just Darlinda, and we're the Schlepp sisters. So
we're showing off our bodies for attention and for currency. Sound familiar? OnlyFans, My Cam, Free Girls, Chatterbaits, and all those other ones?
Have a variety acts. Actually, one of our first one was the Barry sisters, Hava Nagila, a couple other acts we have. We have fabulous one where we do
The one on the left looks like there's a ding-a-ling hanging down there.
reinterpretation of the Jews' exodus from Egypt.
Yeah, they're reinterpreting Jewish history by making fun of it, by making light of it, by making people that think that this is all just one joke. Some people take Jewish history very, very seriously because it is tradition.
Yeah, it's really fabulous. This reinterpretation of the Exodus from Egypt. So we start off as slaves, and we sort of go through the whole,
It's fabulous that we can be slaves and then take off all of our clothes.
story, and then end up in the promised land with freedom. So
We get freedom. We get to hold the 10 Commandments, and many of those 10 Commandments are indeed some of the rules and regulations for many Jews in today's society. But forget about anything with that. Everyone's just waiting for them to take off their clothes and shake their jello jigglers everywhere.
we did that actually for our Passover show that we did this spring.
Yeah, we're all just going to jiggle our boobs. Now, does this require massive education? Is this art? Is this Jewish culture? Or is this an all-out display of gratuitousness and obscenity? Would you want your girlfriend going on stage each and every night entertaining multiple men and women? I would venture to say that many of these burlesque performers probably like women more than men. So not only do you have to worry about your girlfriend going on stage and performing, but the fact that they might want to be with some of the other women in the crowd or be with one of the other women that are performers. Do you really want to be involved in something like that? I know that this is a little out of the loop, but tradition would dictate that a man would prefer to be monogamous with one woman, but society has changed in such a way that it's actually okay for a very, very successful man to have multiple women and not to even blink the other direction because of it. And part of that also involves the women pretending to be men, making more money than the men, and wanting to have as many partners of their own. Men, women, all in between, you name it. Have you ever tried this as an exercise? Yeah, it's not a bad exercise, but this is not a workout video. They're showing off their stuff.
So, I mean, as far as like Yiddish theater, like in the Lower East Side, I think there's a little bit of a connection.
There's a connection between this and Yiddish theater? What?
That some of the I wouldn't say that like I don't know this for a fact, but
You clearly don't know anything.
I can't imagine that the female actors in the Yiddish theater would then go on to be burlesque performers. I don't think that was the same kind of class thing.
Really? There isn't a connection between the actresses and the... really?
I don't think that that's the way it worked, but I don't know. Jews, as as culturally, Jews are funny. They're into comedy, and it's like, so for me, I love burlesque because it's a place to be funny.
I get to be funny. I get to have fun. I get to show off my body. I get to have numbers of people drool in front of me, to see my body. Are these women really Jewish? Didn't we already see this part? That is interesting, though. Can we slow it down a little bit? Maybe I can slow this down to a quarter speed, and maybe we can see something different. No, she knows how to get down. Yeah, this definitely is showing off a lot of art and Jewish culture. Can you imagine what her OnlyFans looks like? We got to back up the bus a little bit. Let's go back to the part where she's covering up her boobs and then she unveils the boobs. Ta-da! Does your honey bunny do that? And if your honey bunny does do that, do you want that same woman to show that off to every other man down the block? Kosher MGTOW, food for thought. Thanks for watching. Click like and subscribe. You never know what you're going to hear or see on this one.